Owning a cemetery sounds like owning the quietest business in the world. No loud machines, no crowded terminals, no casino lights. Just land, silence, and graves. But behind that silence is a real business. A strange one, and a powerful one. Because death is inevitable. Every family faces it. And when that moment comes, time disappears. Emotion takes over. And someone has to provide the land. That is the first hidden truth. A cemetery is not only sacred space, it is also controlled space. It is land with limits, land that can be sold, land that can be managed, land that can become scarce. So owning a cemetery is not just about death. It is also about real estate. But unlike normal real estate, this land is sold under emotion. Families are not buying for profit. They are buying for memory. They are buying for permanence. That changes everything. A normal piece of land can be resold easily. A burial plot works differently. Once it is used, it becomes emotionally locked. The family may visit for decades. The cemetery may maintain it for decades. And the land stops behaving like ordinary property. Now think about the owner. The owner is not just selling dirt. The owner is selling location. The owner is selling permanence. The owner is selling maintenance. The owner is selling ritual. And sometimes, the owner is selling status. A plot under a tree can matter. A plot near family can matter. A plot in a beautiful section can matter. A private mausoleum can matter. A premium memorial space can matter. So even inside a cemetery, location still matters, just like in real estate. Only here, the decision is emotional and often urgent. That urgency changes pricing power. Because the customer is not casually browsing, the customer is grieving, the customer is choosing under pressure, and pressure changes behavior. Now step back and look at the land itself. A cemetery begins with acreage. Without land, there is no inventory, and inventory matters. Every grave takes space, every path takes space, every tree takes space, every road takes space, every mausoleum takes space, even beauty takes space. So the owner must think in decades, not weeks, not months, decades. If too much land is used too quickly, future revenue disappears. If land is used too slowly, money stays trapped underground. So layout becomes economics. Spacing matters. Design matters. Long-term planning matters. Some cemeteries feel peaceful. That peace is not accidental. It is designed. And design affects value. A cleaner layout can feel more premium. A better landscape can justify higher prices. A better location can command higher prices. So even silence can be engineered. And engineering can become revenue. But before any of that works, the owner needs permission. You cannot simply fence a field and call it a cemetery. First come permits, then land use approvals, then environmental reviews, then legal structure, then operating rules, then record-keeping requirements, then perpetual care obligations. Money starts leaving early, long before families arrive. The land may still be empty, the paths may not exist yet, the headstones may not exist yet, but the costs already exist. This is one reason cemeteries are unusual. They can require large upfront investment. Land costs money, roads cost money, drainage costs money, landscaping costs money, administrative offices cost money, maintenance equipment costs money, fencing costs money, documentation systems cost money. And once the cemetery opens, the obligation does not disappear. In many ways, it only begins. Because a cemetery is not just selling one moment, it is taking on a long responsibility. Families expect the grounds to stay clean. They expect grass to be cut. They expect flowers to be handled properly. They expect records to be accurate. They expect the space to remain respectful. That means the business model is not one-dimensional. It is land sales. It is service. It is maintenance. It is trust. And trust is everything here. If families lose trust, the business suffers deeply. So reputation matters, quietly, but powerfully. A cemetery owner is not just managing property. They are managing memory. They are managing grief. They are managing permanence. And that makes this business different from almost any other. In the next block, we break down how cemeteries actually make money, plot by plot, service by service, from burial spaces to memorial products to the hidden revenue around death. Now we follow the revenue. Start with the burial plot. The burial plot is the core product. It is the cemetery's basic inventory. One family buys one space, another family buys another. Over time, the ground turns into revenue. But not all plots are equal. Some locations feel more desirable. A plot near the entrance can matter. A plot under under mature trees can matter. A plot beside family can matter. A corner plot can matter. A private section can matter. So the cemetery can segment the land. Standard plots can be one tier. Premium plots can be another tier. Family plots can be another tier. Mausoleum spaces can be another tier. Every tier changes pricing. This is why the cemetery owner studies layout carefully. Good layout can increase sellable value. Emotional value becomes pricing power, and pricing power changes the business. Now think about timing. Some families buy during immediate need. Others buy in advance. That is called pre-need demand. Pre-need sales bring cash earlier, and earlier cash can help the business. Pre-need sales also reduce uncertainty for families. They can choose more calmly. They can compare sections more carefully. They can plan family space more deliberately, and the cemetery can lock in revenue sooner. Now look beyond the plot itself. The space is only one layer of the sale. Many cemeteries also sell burial rights. They may sell opening and closing services. They may sell vaults or liners. They may sell installation services. They may sell headstone placement support. They may sell memorial packages. So one burial can generate multiple revenue streams. The customer may think about one grave, but the business sees several related services. Now move to markers and monuments. A simple flat marker can be one option. An upright headstone can be another option. A larger family monument can be another option. Custom engraving can add value. Special stone materials can add value. Photo elements can add value. Decorative detailing can add value. Memorial benches can add value. Mausoleums can add even more value. The sale grows beyond the ground itself. This is one reason cemetery revenue can be layered. The plot starts the transaction, but memorial products expand it. Now add service revenue. Each burial involves work. Grounds crews prepare the site. Administrative staff confirm the records. Coordinators help schedule the service. Equipment may be used on the grounds. Afterward, restoration work may be needed. That means labor becomes billable service. Some cemeteries also earn from chapel use. They may earn from event space use. They may earn from tent setups. They may earn from seating arrangements. They may earn from flower handling. They may earn from memorial ceremony support. So the cemetery can be more than land. It can also be a service platform. Now think about perpetual care. Families often expect long-term maintenance. They expect the site to remain clean. They expect grass to stay trimmed. They expect paths to stay usable. They expect trees and flowers to be managed. They expect the cemetery to endure. This is where perpetual care funds matter. Part of the sale may go into long-term maintenance reserves. That reserve supports future upkeep. So some revenue is current income, and some revenue is restricted for care. That makes cemetery cash flow unusual. Money comes in, but not all of it is freely spendable. Now move to cremation. Cremation changes the business model. It usually needs less land, but it can still create revenue. Cemeteries may sell niches for urns. They may sell columbarium spaces. They may sell scattering garden access. They may sell memorial walls. They may sell urn interment services. They may sell engraved plaques. So cremation can become its own revenue stream, and in many places it is growing. That matters because cremation can reduce demand for full burial plots, but it can also create new products, so the cemetery owner must adapt. Now add flowers and remembrance products. Some cemeteries sell flowers on special dates. They may offer recurring flower placement. They may offer holiday remembrance packages. They may offer cleaning services for markers. They may offer photo updates for distant families. They may offer digital memorial support. These smaller services may seem minor, but they can create repeat revenue, and repeat revenue helps stabilize the business. Not every dollar comes from a new burial. Some dollars come from ongoing relationships. That is important, because a cemetery is not only selling space, it is also maintaining connection. Now step back and look at the full model. Plot sales start the engine. Memorial products expand the sale. Service fees add operational revenue. Perpetual care supports long-term maintenance. Cremation services add flexibility. Ongoing remembrance services add repeat income. Together, these layers create the business. This is not just a land sale. It is a bundle of emotional and physical products. It is a service business built around land. It is a maintenance business built around memory. It is a trust business built around permanence. That is why revenue can look larger than the plot alone, but it also means expectations stay high. Families do not only buy once, they remember the experience. They remember the condition of the grounds. They remember whether promises were honored, and those memories affect future sales. In quiet businesses, reputation travels quietly too. Now the hidden revenue begins to make sense. The cemetery does not only earn from death, it earns from planning. It earns from location. It earns from memorialization. It earns from maintenance. It earns from long-term relationships. In the next block, we move from revenue to costs and pressure. Now we move from revenue to pressure. Because cemeteries do not keep every dollar they receive. They have to maintain the promise. And that promise can last for decades. Start with the land. Land must be purchased. Land must be prepared. Land must be mapped. Land must be divided carefully. Roads must be built. Paths must be designed. Drainage must be installed. Trees must be planted. Grass must be maintained. And every improvement costs money. The cemetery owner is not just buying land. The owner is building a long-term property. But unlike a normal property, this one cannot be easily changed later. Once sections are sold, the layout becomes permanent. A bad layout can trap value. A good layout can protect value. So planning mistakes are expensive. Very expensive. Now add daily maintenance. Grass keeps growing, leaves keep falling, weeds keep appearing, and families keep expecting care. That expectation never really stops. Crews must mow the grounds. Crews must trim the edges. Crews must clean the paths. Crews must care for trees. Crews must remove debris. Crews must handle flowers respectfully. Crews must repair small damage. Crews must keep the place peaceful. All of that requires labor, and labor repeats every week. Some weeks are calm, other weeks are busy. Weather can change everything. Rain can damage grounds. Heat can dry the grass. Storms can break branches. Snow can block access. Mud can slow operations. So nature becomes a cost. The cemetery may look still, but the work never stops. Now think about equipment. Mowers cost money. Trimmers cost money. Small vehicles cost money. Excavation equipment costs money. Storage sheds cost money. Fuel costs money. Repairs cost money. And replacement eventually comes. Then come the records. A cemetery depends on accuracy. Every plot must be tracked. Every sale must be recorded. Every burial rite must be documented. Every family contact matters. Every map must stay correct. Every mistake can become painful. A normal business mistake is annoying. A cemetery mistake can be devastating. So administration matters deeply. Staff must manage paperwork. Staff must manage maps. Staff must answer families. Staff must coordinate services. Staff must protect records. That means offices, software, storage, training, time, and careful attention. Now add legal pressure. Cemeteries operate under rules. Some rules cover land use. Some rules cover records. Some rules cover consumer protection. Some rules cover perpetual care. Some rules cover human remains. The owner must follow all of them. Compliance becomes a permanent cost, and mistakes can damage trust. Now look at perpetual care. This is one of the strangest financial pressures. Families expect maintenance forever, but the cemetery cannot spend all the money today. Part of the money may need to support the future. That means reserves, funds, care accounts, investment discipline, and long-term planning. If the owner underfunds care, the problem may not appear immediately. It may appear years later, when grass declines, when roads crack, when markers tilt, when families notice. That is dangerous, because cemeteries depend on trust. Trust is slow to build and fast to lose. Now add emotional pressure. Customers are often grieving. They may be overwhelmed. They may be sensitive. They may remember every detail. A cold interaction can hurt the brand. A mistake can feel unforgivable. A delay can feel disrespectful. So customer service is not optional. It is central to the business. Now add capacity pressure. A cemetery has finite land. Every sale reduces future inventory. Every burial consumes space. Every road consumes space. Every tree consumes space. Every beautiful feature consumes space. So the owner must balance beauty and inventory. Too much density can feel cold. Too much open space can reduce revenue. That balance is difficult. Eventually, some cemeteries fill up. When that happens, new plot sales decline. The business must rely more on services. Maintenance still continues. Families still visit. Records still need care. Grounds still need workers. But fresh inventory may be limited. That is the quiet risk. The cemetery can be full, but the obligations remain. So the owner must think far ahead. Not just this year, not just this decade, generations ahead. Now we reach the biggest question. What happens when the land runs out? A cemetery can sell plots for years, maybe decades, but land is finite. Every sale reduces inventory, every burial uses space, and once a section is full, that section cannot be sold again. This is the cemetery paradox. The business sells its own future supply. At first, that creates revenue. Later, it creates scarcity. Scarcity can raise prices, but scarcity can also limit growth. A full cemetery may still be respected, it may still be beautiful, it may still be visited, but new plot sales slow down. So the owner must plan before the land is gone. Expansion may be possible, but expansion is not guaranteed. Nearby land may be unavailable. Nearby land may be too expensive. Nearby communities may oppose it. Regulators may reject it, and the original location may be boxed in. So a cemetery can become landlocked. That is why cremation matters. Cremation changes the space equation. An urn needs far less land than a grave. grave. A niche can fit in a wall. A memorial garden can serve many families. A columbarium can multiply capacity. So cremation can help the land last longer, but it can also reduce demand for full burial plots. That creates a strategic tension. The owner must adapt without destroying the old model. More niches, more memorial walls, more gardens, more flexible products, more personalized remembrance. The cemetery becomes less about one type of burial and more about memory in many forms. But adaptation has costs. Columbariums cost money, gardens cost money, design costs money, marketing new options costs money, and families may have different traditions. Some prefer burial, some prefer cremation, some want family plots, some want simple memorials. So the owner must serve different emotional needs, because this business is not only practical. Now add reputation risk. In most businesses, a bad review hurts. In a cemetery, a mistake can feel sacred. A misplaced record can cause pain. A damaged marker can cause anger. Poor maintenance can feel disrespectful. A rushed service can feel cold. A billing dispute can feel offensive. That makes reputation unusually fragile. Families may remember a cemetery for generations. Good experiences build quiet trust. Bad experiences travel quietly too, and quiet damage can be dangerous. Now add legal risk. Records must be accurate. Land rights must be clear. Contracts must be honored. Care funds must be managed properly. Operations must follow local rules. Environmental concerns can matter. Water tables can matter. Drainage can matter. Access roads can matter. Historical preservation can matter. And every rule adds complexity. The owner is not just managing grass and stone. The owner is managing legal permanence. Now add public perception. People may not like talking about death, but they care deeply when it becomes personal. That makes the business quiet until something goes wrong. This is why trust is the real moat. Trust protects pricing. Trust protects referrals. Trust protects pre-need sales. Trust protects the brand. Without trust, the cemetery is just land. With trust, it becomes a place families choose. Now think about old cemeteries. Some old cemeteries have little inventory left, but they still have maintenance obligations. They still have visitors. They still have records. They still have trees, roads, and gates. Revenue may slow down, but responsibility continues. That is the long tail of the cemetery business. New cemeteries chase growth. Old cemeteries manage legacy, and the best operators plan for both. They build reserves. They maintain records. They protect the grounds. They diversify services. They adapt to cremation. They preserve reputation. They avoid overselling the future, and they understand the time horizon. Because a cemetery is not a 5-year business. It is a generational business. That changes the entire mindset. That is the deeper lesson. Owning a cemetery is not simply owning graves. It is owning land under emotion. It is selling permanence to families. It is managing memory. It is maintaining promises. It is protecting records. It is balancing beauty and inventory. It is preparing for a future the owner may never see. From the outside, it looks still. From the inside, it is active. Legal work, grounds work, family work, financial planning, long-term care, and constant responsibility. A cemetery may be quiet, but the economics are not simple. The land can be valuable. The services can be layered. The demand can be inevitable, but the obligations can last longer than the revenue. That is what makes this business so strange, so powerful, and so easy to misunderstand. Because everyone eventually faces death, but very few people ask who owns the land afterward. That is the economics of owning a cemetery. If you want Mr. Capital to break down another hidden business, subscribe.